Hi, my name is Wyatt Wilkes, and today I will be talking about tribal issues and emergency management. Some issues that face tribes, just in terms of emergency management in general, is oftentimes tribes don't have the necessary resources to combat disasters, whether that be monetarily or personnel wise. They're sovereign nations, so obviously they might not have the personnel simply to help the people that are in need. Ongoing disasters often hinder their income streams, such as COVID-19, something that lasts a long time. This makes it so that the tribes that already do not have enough money now have even less. Tribes often cannot depend on taxes from their people to bolster emergency management systems, like taxes such as like the federal and state governments have to help out with emergencies. And in the past, tribes have struggled to get aid from the government because of laws concerning their sovereign nation, making them a sovereign nation, meaning tribes often suffer greater numbers of casualties to disasters. The impact of tribal nations in relation to emergency management. There are 19 tribal nations larger than the state of Rhode Island. So many people think that it's just a couple small little areas, but in reality, the total number of people in the total area that is possible that could possibly be affected is much larger. Tribal nations are oftentimes the only sort of government in rural areas and more isolated locations, meaning that they often carry the load of disaster relief in certain areas. And tribes are legally self-governing, which in the past had put the federal government in a tough situation until recently, which I will get into. And lastly, how the federal government helps tribes. So the federal government has worked hard in recent years at bringing together both federal government and tribal government for emergency management purposes. In 2013, the Sandy Recovery Improvement Act was passed, amending the Stafford Act. This amendment gave tribal governments the right to request a presidential emergency or major disaster declaration from the federal government that was independent from the state, and they still hold the right to ask the state for help as well. FEMA has a FEMA tribal policy that focuses on communications from one nation to another and aims to help tribes in times of disaster while still honoring the tribal sovereignty and self-governance, which is extremely important. And FEMA is in regular communication with different tribes to make sure that they have the aid and assistance that they need in times of disaster. So just FEMA continually checking up on tribes, making sure that they have what they need in terms of disaster, while still honoring the sovereign nation laws and making sure legally everything is done the right way. So that's it.